Brett Favre, AJ. Brett Favre.
What now?
Your former teammate. Bro, I think we're going to be able to say what now for a while now, because this is what I think had happened. Now, it is alleged. This is all allegedly. But it is alleged that two companies that Brett Favre was a part of rounded up some money, I believe, from the welfare fund of Mississippi to kind of build a business around concussion cream that was not effective, I guess, is what also was being alluded to, and something else in the medical department. What I think is being alleged in the grander scheme here is you're talking about bad guy, finding out that there's a plug that you can get to. And in 2020, I believe 2 people pleaded guilty. The head of the welfare fund, and Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, and also the head of the nonprofit whatever in Mississippi. These 2 people in 2020 pled guilty to fraudulent schemes.
Yep.
So I think what had happened was Brett Favre was introduced to these people who had control over the welfare fund and over the nonprofit part of the Mississippi government funds. And their conversation was, hey, we have access to, they're saying like $20, $30 million. We have access to this money that's supposed to go to the welfare fund. We can figure out, so donations to schools, business investments, because we can market that we're investing in the fund, so we're trying to grow the fund, but we just so happen to be investing in businesses that are owned by friends of ours, let alone any other money that was potentially going out. There's a lawsuit for $20 million plus against this group. So we're not just talking about small amounts of money here. We're talking about a scheme in which the person that was running the welfare fund in Mississippi had access to the fund and was divvying it apparently to friends and businesses. This is like classic why everybody trusts nobody anymore. This is people in positions to help people, fucking people over blatantly and deliberately, allegedly, obviously, in this whole thing. And Brett is just one of like 38 names that is listed in this entire thing. And it is all bad, AJ. It is all bad. I mean, it is not good at all. And this is what's wrong with the world.
What has he done on top? What's he done on top of everything? And Ty, would this be quid pro quo that I hear politicians talk about?
I have no idea, to be honest, because it seems like
trading favors, basically.
Well, yeah, that was, I think
this was a get rich. I think this wasn't like a campaign. I think this was like, we can get rich off of this type shit.
So we're gonna make money. I can take this money that's donations and I can give it to this company. And
not donations. It's government.
Not donations.
No, it's government funded. So it's allotted money from taxpayers.
Yeah, even more.
Taxpayer money, government money, an allotted fund for the welfare, which everybody says Mississippi is like the poorest group. I was in Jackson, Mississippi, driving around there, probably seeing, there's no reason for the government to be taking $20 million out of that place. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, that is not at least $20 million. Who knows how much more. But this is like the problem with the world almost, isn't it? I mean, this is...
Really bad. Really bad, yeah. Like, yeah, it's... Man, and there's a lot of people involved, right? You say 30-some people? Is that how many people in the lawsuit?
38.
I think it was 38 people listed in the lawsuit. This is all alleged, and obviously we don't know what's real, what isn't. We've seen text messages. There's more fraud. And the way the story lays out is like, there was one person that was put in a position of power who probably flexed that position of power, by the way. Whenever they would talk amongst friends, remember this guy runs this, or I think it was a guy, and I think it was a lady who was the head of the nonprofit. This guy runs this fund for the government. He's a big deal. So whenever he speaks, think about how you guys should be doing it this way, you guys should be doing it this way, just how matter-of-fact that person has lived. Just so automatic respect because of who this person is, the position they have. That's kind of how the life they treated. And while doing that, potentially, allegedly, and he pleaded guilty in 2020, so something was going on, taking money and just giving it, the worst type of human, just like doing this. But then once again in public, oh yeah, you're welcome that I'm here. You know, like that type of stuff. And whenever you're treated in conversation, it's not good. It's terrible. It's what's wrong with the world. And one of the greatest football players of all time is directly tied into it. And that is not good. Like, that's not a fun thing to happen, but it is happening, and we should talk about it.
Well, and that's why like Favre almost has no leg to stand on, because he keeps saying, you know, like, well, I didn't know where this money was coming from, but he very clearly, you know, you find a weak link in something like this, and Favre is pretty much the fucking king of Mississippi, so all these people, you know, treat him like a god. It's like, oh, okay, I can take this person for everything they're worth. You know, I ask for something, I get it immediately in return, and then someone else goes down for it. He's probably thinking the next person who comes in, like, well, they wouldn't think we'd continue to do this scheme, so it's just like, well, fuck it, I guess I'll just keep going until someone else takes the fall for it, and nothing's going to happen to me. I'm fucking Brett Favre, you know, I'm the king of Mississippi.
It's wild. Hey, this is wild. I know he's a former teammate of yours, so I put you in a terrible spot there.
No,
but
that's
it's very,
fine.
and Hasselbeck happened to Hasselbeck too, because there's no way you guys knew this. Like, there's no way that Brett Favre's teammates.
How long does this go back?
Exactly.
How long does it go back is the question. Like, how long has he been involved with these people?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think, like, the person that you guys are friends with, I don't think you should feel terrible about it, because I don't think you fucking knew that this was potentially happening. But it is an interesting situation that's unfolding right in front of our eyes. And it's like, if this is happening with Brett Favre, there's other humans in other worlds that are pretty popular.
You're taking advantage of the less fortunate. That's what makes it so egregious, right? Like we saw, there's been former players that I think even had to serve some jail time for insurance stuff, right? They're doing like line of duty or whatever. They're trying to scam the system and get more insurance money, and they go to jail, right? We've had some guys, I think.
Yeah, legendary legends. I'm not going to say their name because we don't need to bring it up, but yeah. But in that case, I think what you're alluding to is they're taking from insurance companies that are stealing from people. So it's like they're taking from rich people. They're taking from, in this particular case, it's coming back and it's coming out that the actual strategy all along has been planned to take from the people who don't have shit. That's bad. Hey.
That's the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario right there, right?
Oh my God, that's terrible.
And it's all for personal gain. It's all for like his personal gain. You know, it's not like, I mean, it's to benefit his daughter's fucking volleyball team at Southern Miss, and they were talking about how, you know, like the donations he was given from his foundation were so minuscule in terms of like what money was going to Southern Miss. So it's like you're almost trying to pull the wool over people's eyes and saying like, well, I am doing good. You know, I donated $500 to you know, the soup kitchen this weekend. Now, granted, I took $1.5 million from the welfare fund to build a new nice facility for Southern Miss, but I'm still doing stuff on the side.
I donated. You can check it.
What do you want me to do? I
These
didn't
are
know.
facts.
I didn't fucking know. I mean, shit. You know how many concussions I fucking had?
I was trying to get that cream. Remember, I went to the welfare fund and said, hey, we need more. Listen, we need more money.
So what's the cream part? What, he wanted to invest in some concussion cream, or he wanted them to invest in this company?
I assume it was like the concussion water business.
Similar.
That was
What
being
concussion
sold.
cream is there?
There was a scientist. He was in the article for one of these drug companies. Invented this cream that you would rub on two arteries on both sides of your neck, and it would soup up into your brain, and the anti-inflammatory stuff in the cream would help
That's the
protect
neck
your brain.
thing.
Yeah,
That's the thing the guys are wearing.
Yes.
No, I think that's a pinch thing. I don't think that's a cream thing that those
But
guys
it's
are.
the same thing. It pinches those arteries, and it's supposed to create a little barrier in your brain of blood.
If that actually works.
It sounds like the cream's trying to do.
Well, the cream, though, seemingly doesn't do.
Yeah, the cream was a fugazi.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's obvious.
I mean, we're just saying.
I'm not questioning whether it works or not. That cream, I think the neck thing can do something for sure.
Maybe. We don't, I mean.
Yeah, who knows? Nobody knows anything about brains.